this is Rick Kaselj from exercisesforinjuries.com. I'm down here in San Diego and I'm just about to head off on a run along the boardwalk. But before I head off, I came across some neat research that I wanted to share with you. It was talking about pretty much tubing placement when it comes to two very common exercises, a sumo walk and a monster walk. So I've got my tubing, which I always have in my backpack. So pretty much, if I wrap the tubing around my knees, create a couple knots to lock it down. This isn't ideal, I want it more secure, but pretty much a sumo walk is having the resistance and moving to one side and moving to the other side. So resistance on the tubing and moving from side to side. A monster walk is having the resistance moving forward and out to the side, forward, out to the side. So having that resistance forward, out to the side, forward, out to the side. So they looked at different tubing placements for those two exercises. So they looked at the knees, they looked at tubing placement at the ankles, and then they also looked at tubing placement at the feet. And what was the muscle activation? So knees, ankles, and wrapped around the toes. There's better tubing to use when it comes to the monster walk and the sumo walk. The mini bands work really well. But looking at the research, what they ended up finding was if you look at tensor fascia lata activation, it increases as you go from the knees down to the ankles and the feet. But there was no difference between the ankle and the feet. When you look at Gluteus Medius activation, it increased as you went from the knees down to the toes, and there wasn't really a difference between the ankles and the feet. And if you look at Gluteus Maximus activation, there was only Gluteus Maximus activation when it was wrapped around the feet. And what they think the reason why was because when tubing is wrapped around the feet, you end up having resistance in hip external rotation, and that led to the greater activation of Gluteus Maximus and Gluteus Medius. Without much of a change when it comes to tensor fascia lata activation. So that's really cool. So if you're thinking about, when you're training your clients on where to end up having the knee, where to have the tubing placement, if you want greater Gluteus Maximus activation, you go around the feet. If you want greater Gluteus Medius activation, you go around the ankles or the feet. If you want to decrease how much tensor fascia lata activation you have, you end up going around the knees. So that's really cool, interesting, applicable research that came out. So this is Rick Kaselj from exercisesforinjuries.com saying take care and bye-bye.